Thanks for staying tuned to your station, the Africa Independent Television, and welcome to your program, Security Watch Africa, only on this channel and on this station. And on this program, we'll give you that information you need to keep your life safe and secured. Welcome to your program. Today, my name still remains Patrick Abambu. Yes, today we'll be bringing you reports from the security agencies and the views of Nigerians on their perception about the Nigeria police force. I'll tell you that it's been a very, very busy week for the security forces in making sure that security remains paramount in the country as part of the pillars of the current government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, making sure that Nigerians are safe everywhere they are. It's quite a Herculean task for the security forces, but with God on their side and the Nigerians supporting them, I believe that we'll soon get to the point where security will be provided for Nigerians, but we must ourselves develop security consciousness. Yes, I'll tell you again that yesterday, following the intervention by the three senators from Delta State, who met with the Chief of Defense Staff to plead for the passionate release of the king of Okwama after the gruesome murder of 17 Nigerian Army personnel who went on peace mission. The Nigerian Army yesterday effected that by releasing the monarch to one of the senators in trust while investigation is still ongoing. I want to say that it's a good step, and I believe that with the king availability now, we hope he will cooperate with the security forces to ensure that those people who committed that crime, no matter who they are brought to book, because families are mourning, the country is mourning, and we must not allow this to continue. Yes, you know, one of the things that happened again, I must point it out during the week, sadly, the Republic of Kenya lost his Chief of Defense Staff, talking about General Francis Ogala. This is a man I have met some years ago, a very intelligent and knowledgeable military officer. He died along with 9 others in an helicopter crash, which, again, the government of Kenya is investigating to find out the cause of that accident, of that helicopter crash. We pray that Almighty God will accept his soul and the souls of other nine others who are traveling with him for a function. Yes, talking about dying and being celebrated. I want to bring to you that Nigerians also appreciate their security forces. Just 2 days back, the Nigerians, I must repeat, celebrated the troops of the Nigerian Army deployed for the Operation Desert Sanity 3. You can see the cheerful crowd celebrating these troops. These troops, they are drawn from the 25 Task Force Brigade in Damboa. This is after the success the troop had in the Timbuktu Triangle and all the peripheral areas of Lake Chad, where they had gone to clear in continuation of the clearance mission that the Chief of Army Staff has directed. And we must say kudos to the theater commander, Major General W. Shuaibu, for doing a wonderful work. In fact, these boys are emulating him because he did similar when he was in charge of the special brigade in Bama. Yes, we are going again to talk about, somebody asked me a question when we talk about Sambisa Forest. Why is it that the troops have not been able to overrun Sambisa Forest and flush away these criminals? I tell you that Sambisa Forest is such a large area, expanse of land that, in fact, I remember that in 2017, Dr. Obieze Kwesili, when she toured some part of Sambisa Forest. She came out to say that, in fact, she can affirm that Sambisa Forest alone is 18 times larger than Lagos State. You can see how large it is, and it's remarked to be over 513 square miles. Very large area covering Nigeria, Cameroon, Chad, and Niger. So when people talk about this, they may not understand the enormous responsibility the troops are facing. But I believe that with what they are doing, clearing these criminals out of Nigerian land, Nigeria will soon experience longer lasting peace. Yes, let's go to the Nigerian Army headquarters, where Elizabeth Tanko brings us a report of the COAS first quarter conference that took place in Abuja.
From April 15 to 19, 2024, the Nigerian's capital, Abuja, played host to the top brass of the Nigerian Army, who gathered for the 2024 First Quarter Chief of Army Staff Conference. At the first day of the conference, which was declared open by the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, the Army Chief spoke on the need for the conference and constant deliberations.
The Chief of Army Staff Conference provides a platform for regular consultations with field commanders for a comprehensive review of our activities in each quarter of the year. The first quarter conference will thus afford us the opportunity to assess our readiness and formulate strategies to enhance our collective performance in fulfilling our constitutional obligations as the year progresses.
He encouraged participants made up of principal staff officers, theatre commander, general officers commanding, commanders of tri-service institutions, corps commanders, and other relevant commanders to imbibe the spirit of the conference while making useful contributions.
To reiterate the importance of generating sincere and candid opinion, I encourage participants to engage in robust discussions and provide insightful opinions and options that will fine-tune the strategies and policies of the Nigerian Army to guarantee a more robust and secure Nigeria. Your wealth of knowledge and experience will undoubtedly contribute to our collective effort to transform the Nigerian Army to advance our nation's security agenda. I'm quite optimistic that the briefs and presentations during this conference will elicit robust discussions and generate strategies to maintain the Nigerian Army's continued successes in our operations.
The Chief of Army Staff spoke on various welfare programs for personnel of the Nigerian Army.
As a way of improving troops' welfare, new welfare initiatives are being implemented. The affordable home ownership option for all soldiers, otherwise known as AWOAs, aimed at alleviating the hardship soldiers face in securing personal accommodation for post-service life, is one such measure. As a way of making the scheme inclusive and showing our sensitivity to the plight of soldiers with operational-related disabilities, I've directed the Managing Director of Post-Service Housing Development Limited to set aside 5% of the AWOA scheme in each estate for allocation to this category of soldiers. The Nigerian Army will cover all the housing expenses at 100% for this category of soldiers. Relatedly, the Nigerian Army has reinvigorated its complementary welfare flights for Northeast troops to facilitate seamless travels during leaves and passes. Furthermore, premiums paid to beneficiaries of our various insurance schemes to cater to troops dependent in any eventuality have been doubled without any corresponding increase in contributions.
While welcoming participants to the meeting, the Chief of Policy and Plans Army, Major General Abdulsalam Bagudu Ibrahim, spoke on the essence of the meeting and thanked the Chief of Army Staff for his leadership. The sideline of the conference witnessed the fulfillment of one of the pillars of General Lagbaja's command philosophy, which is to provide sound administration through the enhancement of personnel welfare and well-being. He presented 13 Hilux vehicles to 13th Army Warrant officers in recognition of their meritorious and unblemished service.
General T.A. Lagbaja, the Chief of Army Staff, hereby cut this day to commemorate the handing over ceremony of these vehicles to our Army Warrant officers this day, the 16th of April 2024, to the glory of God.
The Chief of Army Staff equally commissioned a multi-purpose building and inspected a locally manufactured electric motorbike.
No, sir. Let me hand over to you.
Oh, it's for you. Please, I want you to write it and test it.
At the last day of the conference, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, spoke on the outcome of the 3 days intensive reviews, presentations, deliberations, and projections.
As is the case with our quarterly conferences, this first quarter conference has provided the top brass of the Nigerian Army an opportunity to brainstorm and appraise the Nigerian Army's activities so far this year. It equally enabled us to confirm the level of implementation of decisions taken during the annual conference held in Maiduguri in December last year, and I'm happy to report that our findings have been largely satisfactory. I'm particularly happy that the conference organizers have sustained participation. They are carefully selected middle cadre officers and the leadership of our senior non-commissioned officers. As expected, these past 3 days have afforded us quality time to again review our training, operational and administrative activities that directly relate to security issues crucial to our nation and external environment. In line with the conference program, formation commanders, the theater commander Operation Adenkai, and the first commander of the multinational joint task force, with headquarters in N'Djamena, Chad, updated the conference on the activities of their forces. The update on our affordable home ownership option for all soldiers, otherwise known as AWUAS, which is a reinvigorated welfare scheme aimed at alleviating the hardship soldiers face in securing personal accommodation for post-service life, especially attracted extensive deliberation.
He spoke further on expectations of Nigerians from the Nigerian Army.
As part of the conference design, we had exhaustive, frank discussions that further enriched our decisions and, I believe, will help reinvigorate our operations across the country going forward.
General Lagbaja used the occasion to thank Nigerians for their cooperation and express gratitude to President Bola Tinubu for his constant support to the Nigerian Army.
Allow me a moment to congratulate the Chief of Policy and Plans Army and his team on another highly successful outing. I thank the participants for their patience, sincerity, and dedication throughout our deliberations. I believe that the Secretariat has adequately and aptly captured the decisions arrived at during our deliberations and will disseminate them in good time after my approval. To our friends, the members of the press, I must say We are always delighted to have you around. Your role in our activities is invaluable, and we consider you a critical partner in our professional dealings. I thank you all for what you do and for always standing by the Nigerian Army. Even those renowned for criticizing the Nigerian Army are always held in high esteem because they help us look inward and strive to excel, since we know we are constantly under their radar. As I close this remark, please permit me to, on behalf of the Nigerian Army, thank Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Grand Commander, Order of the Federal Republic, for his undying belief and immense support of the Nigerian Army. I assure Mr. President of the unflinching loyalty and commitment of the service to the country's constitution.
The quarterly Chief of Army Staff Conference provide avenue for the Nigerian Army leadership to review and project on policies, programs and operations towards the enhancement of the Nigerian Army performance and improvement in national security. Elizabeth Tanko, reporting for Security Watch Africa, Abuja.
Welcome back. Yes, we'll quickly, for time, go straight to the next report. In our quest to find out how security is being perceived in Nigeria, Security Watch Africa, Lucy Tao went on the street to get the views of Nigerians. Sit back as we bring you her report.
As part of Security Watch Africa's review in Nigeria, we were on the street to hear from the people what they think of the Nigeria Police Force in the provision of security.
Their ammunition is not sophisticated like those of the bandits. If you are carrying, they say the sound of bandit gun, when police heard of it, they will run away because it's not powerful. And I don't know whether now they have bought a very powerful one for the police. So that one make some of the police to run away from the bandit or herdsmen.
The ammunition given to them, they are not effective. What do I mean by say they are not effective? Like the kidnapper, the armed robber, some of them have AK-47, and some of them have AK-49, which is Nigeria police. They have to give them this day gun.
When police come to arrest maybe a suspect, you can imagine that the same suspect is the police that will still go and release them without any investigation. One
of the things I feel should be the issue is corruption in the police force, and also maybe breach of duties. So I feel corruption per se, maybe they've not been able to follow their duties to the latter, and there's nobody to hold them accountable.
Police in Nigeria, they are trying. Police in Nigeria, for me, they are trying. Because if not police, you cannot stand here. For me, the problem here is we, the civilians, we're supposed to help police to know where crime is.
We cannot say they are not effective. They are effective in one way or another because they are trying their best. If you look at the number of the population of the country and look at the number of the police force that we have, you cannot compare.
They further spoke on what they expect from the government and the police force.
They should look at their leadership. Yes, for a security, for a sensitive outfit such as the police, they should look at their leadership. And by the time they synergize together, come together, carry everybody along, even their safety will also be taken care of.
Stability should be one of them for me. And then also I think consistent and usual trainings for the police force to ensure that, okay, these people are not just after their previous knowledge, they consistently update their knowledge and are trained consistently, because as we advance and as we grow each day, there are new tactics that the criminals use to be able to get at people. So if they are training them consequently and consistently, it can help to keep them alert.
Let the government make sure that the budget of the police is being distributed and using it effectively. Let all the budget that is allocated to them, let it be shared and use it. Nigerian police are one of the best police in the world. They know their jobs, they can do it, but they don't have the equipment, they don't have the allowances, they don't have the mobility. Everything is being, I don't know, it's disappear or is still in the network.
If government can put more fund on the ammunition, I think this will be okay, and we'll let them pay them well. Look at some of our police. If you go to division, you will be disappointed. Even their uniform, even the shoes, some of them even buy their uniform by themselves. If you go to some advanced country, it's not done that way. Because some police officers I'm close to, they will always tell me they are buying their uniform by themselves, which is not supposed to be. If federal government can look inward and take care of them very, very well, at least this will be okay.
The government should do more about the police, because they are human beings too. They have families. Their families have to be protected, because some of them have been abandoned over years. So some people will say, okay, is it me that want to die? How about my family? So they shy away from it. But if the government wake up and say, okay, we are going to back up the police, even other enforcement like securities and all those people who are in government, if they take care of them, if they wake up to do their job.
The government cannot buy ammunition for them. It's police. We go and look for the one that is useful. If they can use that money for the purpose, it will be benefit them and the country.
Lucy Tawo, reporting for Security Watch Africa.
Yes, welcome. Time really is flying. We'll just take you to the defense headquarters, where Elizabeth Tanko again brings us the account of what the troops of the Armed Forces of Nigeria has done in the last 1 week. Sit back.
The last 1 week has witnessed renewed onslaught by the troops of the Armed Forces of Nigeria against terrorists, insurgents, bandits, kidnappers, and other sundry criminals across the nation. In his briefing, which covers from 8 to 14th April 2024, the Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, disclosed that the troops neutralized 192 terrorists, arrested 341 persons, rescued 62 kidnapped hostages, while 122 Islamic State West African province Jamal al-Asuna, Lidawa, Wal Jihad combatant terrorists surrendered with their families.
A total of 122 terrorist combatants surrendered with their families during the week under review. Troops also arrested 37 perpetrators of oil theft, and in the South-South, troops denied the oil theft of over 820 billion naira during the week.
The director spoke further on other arrests and recoveries of arms and ammunition.
Troops recovered 211 assorted weapons and 6,288 assorted ammunition during the week. The breakdown of the recovered weapons and ammunition as follows. We recovered 128 AK-47 rifles, 26 Den guns, among others, this week. We also recovered over 1,300 rounds of 7.62 millimeter NATO, over 3,200 rounds of 7.62 millimeter special ammunition, and over 1,325 live cartridges, among other items. In the Niger Delta area, troops discovered and destroyed 99 dugout pits, 36 storage tanks, and 192 cooking ovens. During the process, troops recovered over 340,000 liters of stolen crude oil, over 110,000 liters of illegally refined AGO, otherwise known as diesel, and over 7,500 liters of DPK, otherwise known as kerosene, and 13,000 liters of PMS, otherwise known as petrol.
Major General Buba acknowledged the military recognizes the challenging and tough war campaign still ahead and called on the citizens to play their role in helping to defeat these criminal groups.
We recognize that there is still a challenging and tough war campaign ahead. Overall, our objective is to defeat the terrorists and their cohorts by denying them the ability to continue to fight. We also recognize that the lifeline of these terrorist groups is the people. Therefore, winning the war without the support of the people is close to impossible. It is for this reason we encourage the civil populace as well as civil societies to galvanize support in a whole of society approach to facilitate the total defeat of these terrorists and their cohorts.
He added that the fighting spirit of the troops is strong. Elizabeth Anko, reporting for Security Watch Africa.
Welcome back. It's been our pleasure bringing this to you. If you have enjoyed watching it, I'm sure you must have gotten one or two information useful. Join us again next week when we'll bring you another exciting edition of this program. Until then, follow us on all our social media platforms and send us your views so that we can interact better. Until then, bye for now and remain blessed.